All right. Fake outrage alert. Devin Haney getting heat for saying that he would never let a certain type of person beat him. And certain phases, certain portions, slightly irrelevant, but yet very loud portions of the boxing world got something to say about Devin Haney, calling him all kind of the R word and all up in arms about the terrible thing that Devin Haney said. Crocodile tear, crocodile tear, crocodile tear. Let's talk about what Devin Haney said and the reaction to what Devin Haney said in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. Let me tell you for sure something great about boxing. Whenever somebody says something that could be considered racist, whenever somebody says or does something that might sound as if they might be willing to discriminate against another group of people, you can bet that it is going to be all over the internet. It's going to be all in world boxing news. It's going to be all in boxing, on the boxingscene.com. There's going to be videos about it. As long as it's one thing about it, it has to be a black dude saying it. Then you're going to hear about it. If it's not, it's imagination. It's your imagination and you're just being sensitive. So let me walk through this process with you. Devin Haney on 78 Sports TV, talking on 78 Sports TV's live stream, which you should definitely go to Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Great show. Has guests on like Deontay Wilder, has guests on like Devin Haney and Bill Haney. So he gives another one of the shows. He interviews Devin Haney on the show. Devin Haney says, and I just heard the excerpt because I didn't hear all of the show, right? I just stopped in real quick, dropped off my super chat and broke out. Because Devin Haney, and just so you know, nobody can accuse me of being somebody that is just a fanboy of Devin Haney and just looking out to defend Devin Haney, because Devin Haney's own father on the same set of shows called me a hater because I don't support Devin Haney as much as I should. Right now, that's not his words. That's how I took it. It was all joking. Dude's a great dude. Son's a great guy. No hard feelings. I just say that to say that when I'm about to sit down and defend Devin Haney in this particular video, don't act like I'm somebody that is just willy-nilly out there defending, and anything Devin Haney is anything said about Devin Haney I agree with, or anything bad that is out there about Devin Haney that I'm gonna just off the cuff reject it, right? That's not me. That's not the type of conversation I've had about Devin Haney. I think Devin Haney is one of the two best, if not the best lightweight in the world, one of the top 2-3 lightweights in the world, one of the best prospects in the world, if not the top prospect at 135. Not prospect, younger fighter. He's not a prospect because he's a champion. But you get my point. I think he's immensely talented. I don't have necessarily any ties to him, and I'm going to tell you what I think about him. I'm going to tell you straight up what I think about him. So when this comes out, I'm going to tell you straight up what I think about it. Devin Haney, to say that was Devin Haney playing around, right? He's playing around, or he's telling the truth. He's just talking like people talk where black people are around. Like, man, I ain't gonna lose no white boy, right? He said it. Now, is it reasonable for somebody to say, oh, I don't like that you say that, man? That's you're singling out a group of people that, that does not fit my personal definition of racism. I think racism needs to be something where you are literally mistreating somebody, or you're setting up a system to mistreat somebody. But for the sake of us all talking about the same thing, feel free to use that word. I personally would say either a prejudice or whatever. But no need to defend what Devin Haney said, because either that's true or it's not true. You know what I mean? It's either true or it's not true. Yeah, some people can have an issue with them saying it. If I was his public relations person, I might say, hey, Devin, don't say that, because people are going to take that the wrong way. Or they might take it the way that you intended it, depending on whether or not you actually intended it the way that they took it. But not the best thing to say. Maybe don't say that next time. Okay, there you go. All right. Now, can people be offended by it? I think they can. Are they? Probably not. It doesn't carry the same import because of the power relationship between the two groups of people. But for the heck of it, let's run with it and say that Devin Haney said something that was out of pocket, that he shouldn't have said, that he owes an apology, whatever. My issue is this. It's with the reaction. And it's predictable. I sat up and did videos after video about Sergey Kovalev putting a monkey on the shirt, a chimpanzee shirt on his son, and put the picture of Adonis Stevenson on that shirt. And did you hear mainstream media getting in an uproar about it? And have you heard anything about that? Like some big major outrage? No, it was our imagination. It was my imagination. It was just a joke. It was nothing to take serious. He didn't mean anything by it. You guys just see racism wherever it is. That's what I got. That's the conversations that took place around Sergey Kovalev when he did that. Same thing happened when he did it, when he said the same thing. And then during the same video, we pointed out that the first guy to get a draw with Sergey Kovalev, flat out called him either he called him a monkey or he called the flat out N-word. And then you had Bivol, was it Demetrius Bivol? The guy, the 175 pound, no, not Bivol, Shumanov. It was a cruiserweight, a Russian cruiserweight, who he spoke Russian, and they asked him, well, people are saying that we misinterpreted what Sergey Kovalev said because it is within the translation. That's not what he said. So this guy, Shamanov, says, no, that's exactly what he said. That's exactly what he intended. No, he called him the N-word. He called him that. That's what he meant to call him. Flat out called him that. But what did you get back about Sergey Kovalev? You get, he did this, he did that. So, it's this excuse, that excuse for why he did this twice. And then 3 times, he did it a third time on the lead-in to the rematch between himself and Andre Ward, where he typed up some tweet out there where he was talking about, my new, doing some basically caricature of black, inner city black dialect, put it in a text, like a make-believe text from Andre Ward. And what did you hear there? Did you see articles on Boxing Scene about it? Of course you didn't. Do you hear people like Raging Babe talk about double standards? Maybe. I don't know. But I even read there's a female promoter who got into it with Tank Davis back in the day, named Raging Babe. I would go to her channel. She's talking about, look at these double standards. Double standards? You're criticizing them. What's the double standard? That's all anybody gets in boxing for stuff like this is criticized. And it seems to me like Devin Haney's getting criticized more than I saw people like Nacho Berestein, who called Tim Bradley that little black boy. Or the brother, from what I understand, the brother of Mikey Garcia and Robert Garcia, who were in a gym with a bunch of people calling black people mayates, as if we don't have somebody that can tell us what that means in Spanish. Hey, come on, man. Or it means in English. Hey, come on, man. I'm not crying no river because Devin Haney said that. You even have these morons outside, this dude in World Boxing News, dude, whoever you are writing for that man, how could he possibly admit Ryan Garcia? They got people saying, he's talking about Ryan Garcia. Dude, Ryan Garcia? What is Ryan Garcia giving comments about that for? Ryan Garcia ain't white. What do you mean? And he already lost to Ryan Garcia. He lost to Ryan Garcia in the amateurs. So why would you think he's talking about Ryan Garcia? What sense does that make? Dude, if you're gonna criticize somebody, the only thing that I hear that I care about, man, treat people the same way. Treat people the same way. If all you're gonna do is make sharp criticisms about if you're not, matter of fact, bump that. If you're not gonna say anything about Sergey Kovalev, then don't say anything about Devin Haney. Because there is no double standard. Because then there would be no double standard. If you say something about Devin Haney, but you don't say anything about Sergey Kovalev, there's the double standard, right? If you say something about both of them, there's no double standard. You say, look, man, let's not bring this into it. And you have people, the black boxing has enough problems. We don't need to bring this type of stuff into it. What do you mean bring this type of stuff in? That type of stuff has been in boxing since the since 1790s. What do you mean? That particular dynamic has been in boxing since the beginning and has been consistent throughout it. You guys just want to close your eyes and act like it's not there until it's convenient for you to jump out there and be Mr. Appeaser. It's look what he did. Look what he did. He said he wouldn't lose to a white guy. Well, what if he believes he won't? What if he believes he doesn't? I bet you Devin Haney would believe the same thing. Ain't no black dude gonna beat me either. But just to correct the record, the guy if he was speaking about somebody, I only heard the excerpt. If he was talking about a specific boxer, the only person that fits in that equation would be Vasily Lomachenko. It wouldn't even be Ryan Garcia, So get your shit right, World Boxing News. If you're over there in the UK, you might not know that Canelo Alvarez is not European, and neither is Ryan Garcia, and neither is Gennady Golovkin. But anyway, it is what it is. Y'all let me know what you think in the comment section, man. I just thought it was ridiculous. Man, the kid says something and ain't 2 cents. Ain't none of y'all offended by it. You acting offended, but you ain't even offended by it. You ain't worried about that, or whether or not somebody said that or not. What do you think he actually means? That? Get out of here, man. Just trying to find something to get on the kid about, man. And should he have said it? Probably not the best thing to say. I don't know if he meant any ill will with it, or if he had a Charles Barkley moment, whatever the case is, man. If you're gonna get on him, get on the rest of it. Get on Bob Arum saying the black fighters aren't, or Abel Sanchez and saying black fighters don't sell. Where's upset about that, dude? I guarantee you, for every one thing that you can point to that Devin Haney said, I can find you 6 things said the other way. But ain't none of y'all saying nothing about it. Doesn't say anything about Steve Kim talking about putting Cubans, gathering all Cubans up and sticking them on a raft and sending them back to Havana. Man, get out of here with that nonsense. Anyway, it is what it is. And with that, I'm out. Peace.